Hi Aquarius, how's everybody doing? Before we get into this, I would like to set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. Is there an offer that we're not taking? It was almost like something came through that you felt medium about and you're setting boundaries with it or not taking it. Okay, I'm looking at a position that we're stepping into. This can be in the home, this can be at work. Maybe being recognized for something that you're doing at work too. I'm looking at the King of Pentacles. I'm seeing somebody come through and talk to you. Who is this guy? This can be a spirit guide. It's like I'm seeing somebody racing through Aquarius. Racing through with intention. I'm looking at the Lovers here. This can be a Gemini for some. Does not have to be. It can always be that area of your chart or that person's chart. I'm hearing somebody that you're paired up with. Interesting. For some, this can be a family member, not for everybody. It's almost like you may be getting some sort of news. Maybe even while you're at work, you're getting news, but it's almost like you're at work and you get news about something interpersonal. That's interesting. It's like something related to your personal life or something that affects you in your personal life, but it's like I'm seeing you working when you get this news. It's like I'm seeing you be the head of something here. It's like the head of like a project or something that you're working on, or maybe the head of some sort of group. Like I'm seeing you leading something out creatively. This can even be a personal project that you've been working on. Somebody may want to collaborate with you. This is so interesting. So I'm seeing somebody that is different from you, but they're at the same level as you, okay? Bear with me while I explain this. And I'm seeing you almost recognize something or get news. It's like maybe you're taking really seriously something that you're doing and you see somebody else like at the same level as you who's messing around. For some of you, I'm getting closely that this is related interpersonally for you. I'm seeing two masculine figures here. And it's almost like you're gaining clarity in relation to somebody's behavior, somebody that you have a dynamic with. I'm looking at the Lovers and I'm looking at the Six of Pentacles. And I'm seeing us pursuing our happiness here, overcoming obstacles. I'm seeing a situation that's hidden right now. You're being guided not to jump into things too quickly. Something creatively that you're working on, like, because you want this thing to pay off for you. But there could also be somebody that you're working with that may be distracting to you. Or like somebody that pops up in your work environment that's distracting to you. Like they're not taking something seriously that I'm seeing you're taking seriously here. But you're being guided to wait and allow things to balance out. Again, don't be reactive, I'm getting. I'm looking at Gemini and Cancer. Yeah, it's like something that when you observe this, you feel disappointed by. Something that upsets you, I'm getting for some. It has to do about... It's related to this other person. But it's almost like something that affects you in your work life. Maybe you're too recognizing that you don't feel good about something here. It's like it has to do with the way that somebody's acting. And like the fact that they're not like serious, like there's not much intention behind what they're doing. Maybe a lack of self-awareness. Maybe you're also recognizing that something feels triggering to you as well. And maybe you're gaining clarity on that too. Like maybe you're seeing something that is like somewhat of a reflection of something that you've like either addressed or need to address within yourself. It has to do with somebody's behavior. Yeah, I'm seeing something that we're calling out here. For some, this can actually have to do with a boss. But I'm almost seeing it like in you reflecting, even if this is a situation you felt disappointed by, it's actually granting you an opportunity, a new opportunity, maybe even job related. Because I'm seeing you be like, this is what I should be being compensated for, like calling something out in that way. Or maybe even the way that you want to be treated equally and you don't feel like you are. Because maybe you're finally seeing somebody's behavior for what it is. And it's like, after you call this out, I'm seeing you actually finding your happiness here. Because there's something that you're overcoming. Some obstacle that was put in your path. And this is like opening doors for you now. But it took you reflecting to understand this. And it was definitely something you needed to see. But maybe you were distracted because of your relationship with this person. And maybe you also didn't know why you were drawn together with this person, and now you're figuring that out as well. It's almost like, you know, when you have somebody in your life that you care about, so like sometimes it can be hard to see that person's faults if you like put them up on a pedestal in a way. It's about like recognizing them like on a whole rather than just like one aspect of the person. So I'm looking at Gemini, Cancer, and Virgo here. For some, I'm getting strongly this is somebody that we work with. And I am looking at the King of Pentacles too. For others, this can be somebody you live with. Interesting, Aquarius. I'm seeing a lot of different interpersonal interactions. Maybe you're seeing more people lately or interacting with more people. I'm seeing like a lot of busyness going on in the environment. For some of us, there's actually somebody that's walking away. If this is you, I'm seeing you walking away from a situation because you don't feel emotionally fulfilled by it, and you're looking for what will emotionally fulfill you. It's like when you get in touch with your intuition and your emotions, you're discovering that there's still more to discover, I'm hearing. It's almost like in search of something here. But you don't know the location of this yet. You just know that you have to keep looking because there's a piece missing, something like that. Like you're still searching for something here. And you recognize this. It's like the more in touch with yourself you are, the more you recognize that there's still more that you need to be searching for. This can be in a matter of relationships. I'm looking at the Queen of Cups here. Yeah, I'm seeing somebody traveling very, very far. This can be emotionally, spiritually. This can also mean physically. It's like the more in touch with your intuition, the more it is that you're recognizing like the adventure that you want to be going on. As I said before, for some of us, we're actually ending a relationship with somebody, or they are ending the relationship with us and moving on. Whatever side of this you're on. But it's like this ending actually helps you. It helps propel you towards seeking something that's going to be more emotionally satisfying. I don't know whether this is you or this is that other person, but I'm seeing one of the parties watching the other one. It's like watching them finding their destiny and where they're fated to go. That's interesting. It's almost like I'm seeing the ending actually help you learn and understand more, or this other person, about karma, actually. And I'm seeing you go through a whole transformation. Like maybe before your boundaries were not as strong. And it's like when you started to understand having boundaries, you decided to end a relationship. And this doesn't have to be romantic. This can be any type of relationship. But I'm seeing something that you recognize was no longer healthy. So it's like you put I'm hearing full stop to whatever this is. And you underwent a transformation. And I'm seeing you transitioning out of that ending and into a brand new space. I'm also hearing a brand new calling, Aquarius. One where you're in touch with your gifts and your abilities. Maybe you're also recognizing new abilities that you have. And it's like, even though you could have cared for this person that you're moving away from, I'm seeing you recognize too that there's like more, again, more to discover. And I don't know if it's you or if it's this other person, but I'm seeing someone looking back at the other person. But you're being guided to alchemize the Ace of Cups here. For some, there could be an offer coming in from, I'm looking at double Jupiter here, so maybe a Sagittarius or a Scorpio that you're not taking an offer from. You're being guided not to take it because it's not going to be emotionally fulfilling to you. Like, this is something that you just feel like, I don't want to put feelings in your mouth, so I guess you can decide. But I'm seeing you shy away from whatever this is. Because you're working on healing, I'm seeing. You could also be working on your gifts and abilities too. It's like you went through this transformation, and I'm seeing your eyes like be open to something, or like you've been graced with something. It's like you're trying to figure out how to work this thing, and you may also be gathering information on like how to, I'm hearing specialize, maybe specialize in a gift or an ability that you have. Maybe multiple gifts and abilities. And it's like, in order for you to continue making progress, as fate would have it, you're being guided not to take an offer that's coming in. And I'm looking at the Four of Wands. Maybe this is about a relationship. Maybe this is about somebody you've already been with. Aren't the retrogrades over, guys? Interesting. I'm actually being guided to put all the cards back. I'm seeing a lesson that we've got to the end too, and it's about us grounding emotionally, being balanced emotionally, supporting ourselves emotionally. This is like total emotional mastery here. Because this is Saturn, and this has to do all about the water that's in your chart. And it's about making them work together. It's about like both understanding how you feel emotionally and what's going on in your emotional world, and also being able to be honest with yourself about what's going on in that place, and to also care for your emotions. It's like managing your emotions is caring for your emotions. It's like holding your emotions. It's also about observing the emotions that you feel and not feel like you need to immediately be reactive or do something with them. It's like witnessing your emotions and what's going on there, and allowing that to key you in, to tune you into what's going on. Because our emotions are a mirror into what's going on in our emotional world, and that also mirrors externally what's going on. Maybe you're also learning to give more weight to what you're picking up on intuitively. It's like actually believing in yourself and believing that intuitively you have senses that you can rely on, like rather than not believing yourself and what's going on in your emotional world. I'm looking at the Four of Wands, and I'm looking at you on the bottom of the deck. There may be a new relationship that's heading your way because of the work that you've been doing. I am looking at counterpart energy here. Yes. I'm seeing something balancing out here. It's like this is a very equal dynamic. And it's almost like whatever relationship this is, and this is something for the potential to be very serious, whatever this is, it comes after you completed a cycle. Because you've been working on emotionally empowering yourself and holding space for yourself, so that you can hold space for others as well if you choose to. Yeah, I'm seeing there be some sort of communication about this relationship. For some, you may be like invited into a relationship. Interesting. I'm seeing communication. I'm seeing there being feelings involved for sure. But you're thinking about this. Maybe also you need to think about it because you still need time to heal as well. Because it's like when you look within, if you're seeing the Five of Pentacles, it's like there's still work that needs to be done to get to an empowered space, to open up the chakras as well. I'm getting that too. And maybe this is work that we've done. It's like also to look within and understand what we needed to address, what needed to be worked on. I'm also hearing healing, self-healing. For some, like actually physically self-healing. This is interesting. Energy work, Reiki. Wow, Aquarius. For some, you could be doing more to take care of your physical body. Like maybe that was something that you recognized too. Maybe there were ailments that you wanted to address. Maybe you're also understanding the spiritual relevance. It's like when things are going, interesting, when things are going on spiritually for us, like say there is an area of your life where you're not being true to yourself, not being authentic out of fear, that can manifest physically in many different ways. And not just with mental health, I mean actual physical ailments. And maybe this is something that we're addressing, maybe something that we're discovering. And maybe we're also finding harmony in the work that we're doing as well. And it's like the further along you get with your progress that you've been making in relation to the element of water, I'm seeing something energetically, even emotionally balancing out for you. Maybe about like when you're in a relationship, what is the position that you want to be taking up in that relationship? What roles do you want to play, and what role do you want, like, your counterpart, so to speak, to be playing? And I'm seeing something that we're letting go of here. It's like in order to balance something out emotionally, you recognize that there's something that you need to let go of. Maybe a sense of rigidity that you're letting go of to embrace fluidity. For some, I'm seeing that you're actually letting go of a job. It's going to help you find what you're looking for. And it's like the more in touch you are with your intuition and your creativity, I'm seeing you like getting into a flow state here. And that's actually helping you address something that you didn't want to make a decision on before because you weren't believing in yourself. But it's like you took the time to look within and you're like gaining an understanding of like where you can be effective. And I'm seeing this be a lesson in you walking away from the things in your life that don't feel emotionally fulfilling, or you feel like there's more to discover. And I'm seeing you embracing a journey here, Aquarius. And this is about self-motivation and also understanding that if you want to make things happen, like that's your job to be pursuing. And I'm seeing you recognizing this. Because you know it's scary when we recognize that we're in charge of our happiness and not like that person that I live with that makes me miserable all the time, you know, when it's like you have that understanding where it's like, oh, I'm in charge of my happiness. If I want to be happy, it doesn't rely on that person. My sadness doesn't rely on that person. This is about owning our own emotions and being like, if I want to make something happen, I have to make it happen for myself. And it's hard to step into that place because then you recognize that you're in charge of your own happiness. Then people feel weary of that because then you recognize there's nobody else to blame or depend on, you know? It's all up to you and what you want to do with that. You create the world that you want. And I'm seeing a lot that we're letting go. Like, there may even be like role expectations that we're letting go of as well to embrace something that feels more authentic, something that feels more true to you. And understanding too that there's definitely a fear space that needs to be acknowledged. Otherwise, it will be ignored and it's still going to be there, looming. And maybe that's something that we're recognizing too. Like, I feel fearful, but I'm still going to pursue the things that I want to embrace. Things that ultimately are going to embrace you because they're right for you, Aquarius. I'm looking at Saturn and I'm looking at Virgo here, and I'm seeing this be an analysis of our internal world through reflection, through meditation, through the dream state. Very interesting, Aquarius. All right, my friends, we are going to end it there. I would like to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you for joining. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.